What is up, you guys? Thank you so much for stopping by once again, and welcome back to Arca Scans, where we go over this week's potential movers directly from my scanner. Before we get started, please make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share the video with a friend so that you and them can consider joining our trading community in Discord called Arca Bulls. With that said, let's dive right into the charts. Guys, real quick, congratulations to those who have actually taken the trade for NVOS, for PHIO, for MHH, and WINT. Arca Scans have actually come through pretty well, actually, right? So go ahead and join the Discord and see what those plays are actually looking like, right, you guys? But now, without any further ado, let's go ahead and just begin right into CRBP daily chart. Okay, you guys, so what we're looking at here is actually something very complex. This one was a bit difficult for me to read, but there are certain signals that are absolutely leading towards a bias for an upside, right? So first of all, our ARC averages algo here is actually signaling a golden cross, which is usually when the 50-day simple moving average crosses above the 200-day simple moving average, and it actually just happened recently, right? So this is actually macro bullish, right? Since it is on the daily chart that we're looking at here. Another thing to actually keep in mind here is the fact that we are printing this falling wedge and we are in the process of breaking out of it. Okay, so there is a price objective that we can actually look at per the trading book rules of this formation. There are a couple ways to look at the target, right? So in this case, we can actually take a trend line right from the, top side of the triangle to the bottom side of the triangle and applying it to the area of breakout, right? So that would actually take us to around $11.18. We're at $8.50 right now. Okay, so now the second way of doing it is, well, two more ways actually. It would be one from the center of the triangle, right? Just like this here. And we can apply that to that area of breakout, which we can just move just a little bit to the side like this. That would take us to about $9.88. And the last method would be like this. Okay, so there are definitely three types of bullish traders here. Okay, so we need to kind of keep in line and keep in mind as well, their particular moves. So this would be the other take profit target, right? So let me just go ahead and try to get it as lined up as I could here. And it would take us to around $9.44. Okay, you guys. So those are the price objectives, per this falling wedge, right? So remember that this is just psychologically backed. It doesn't have any mathematical properties, but it is what it is, right? So let's go ahead and dive into the details now, and we would need to actually jump into the shorter time frames to validate the possibilities here, you guys. So usually when we do break out, there is a retracement back to validate the newly converted resistance into support. Okay, so if I were to just put a quick discretionary guess right here, then the drop would be from $8.50 to around $8 to meet the opening of this candle here and the closing of this one right over here, right? So we also have these candles right at that same area here, the wick lows right down here, same area right over here, you guys. So lots of confluence within this spot, right, you guys? So let's just go ahead and move right along into that 30-minute time frame and see what the momentum and indicators are telling us from that point, right? So definitely getting a bearish MACD cross right over here, guys, which is definitely confluent and with what we're talking about, right? A potential drop to around that $8 and $8 zone right before a continuation to the upside. Stochastic momentum downside pivot. We're actually losing volatility. Very good. RSI is also suggesting a downside, but please notice that it's also losing its bear trend, right? So it's starting to kind of curve here. All right. So let's go ahead and move on and look at the bi-hourly chart. So the bi-hourly chart or the RSI looks like that could be our area of support before a continuation to the upside. The reason I'm saying this is because we are located at not only the support of the 14-day simple moving average represented by this pink line, but also the gravitational zone of the bear weakness percentile. Okay, you guys, so this is very likely for us to find a support here before a continuation onto the upside. Okay, and even the MACD showing us that it could potentially be just a very short-term downside before a continuation to that upside. Stochastic momentum still suggesting upside, and we are still contracting here in volatility. Okay, you guys, so let's go ahead and move on to the 6-hour chart and see what we have. So 6-hour, please notice that the RSI is crossed upside of the 14-day simple moving average. The RSI RSI signal, the purple line, right? So it is upside of the 14-day simple. We also are starting to get these tiny little curvatures here from the stochastic momentum oscillator, which could be indicative of a continuation to the upside fairly soon. Right. So now also please notice here on the volatility that the volatility is starting to curve. Right. So that usually means that we're going to get an increase of volatility soon. And yeah, so it's looking pretty good. Another thing to notice here is that we do have some DMI support. Let's see. So I would like to actually have more of a bull trend from the ADX, but we are actually getting the upside cross above the bears here on the DMI 6 hour. Okay, you guys, the bulls are sitting at about 36% trend. Okay, so let's go ahead and now move on to that 12-hour chart and see what we have, right? So 12-hour chart. Let's see. Okay, we have a little bit of an upside pivot here on the stochastic momentum, and we're starting to contract from a critical volatility zone. Okay, you guys. So what I'm looking at here is, and yes, the RSI is actually at the gravitational zone of the bear weakness percentile. This is kind of primed to cross that 14-day simple. So what I'm looking at here is that the shorter time frames are in the process of cascading into the next time frames, right? So the hourly into the bi-hourly, into the 4-hour, into the 8-hour, 12 daily, bi-daily, so we're actually starting to see the bull signals more along the shorter time frames, right? So let's go ahead and see our potential targets now that we have that general idea, right? So first of all, we are contracting from a critical level here, very close to that 90 percentile. Okay, so that could be indicative of a mean reversion. So let's just go ahead and pull up the reversion variant and see what target we have. Okay, so actually that topside target from the price action from today led to 939. Okay, so we're starting to knock at the door of that mean band. Okay, so very likely for us to actually see a touch back down to that very. Let's see on the daily chart, right? Let's go back to the daily. And yeah, very likely for us to go back down to that area of about, oh my goodness, can it actually be? Can we actually take it that low? Yeah, actually, maybe so. All right, so yeah, we were initially looking at a potential $8, but there could be a range of about $7.68 to about $8. We'll go ahead and draw that little box in there so that we can kind of keep in line what we're talking about, right? So let's see, 768 we said to about $8, right? Let's just push that up just a little bit just so we can get that tight target, right? Okay. Now, let's go ahead and just kind of minimize some of these indicators here and get rid of the RSI and see what we have potentially on the bi-hourly, okay? So the bi-hourly time frame would be that, actually one more thing I wanted to talk to you about. Oh, yes, nice. Check this out, you guys. So let me just go ahead and block out the reversion variant and note one more thing that's actually indicative of an upside or a signal for an upside, you guys. So we have a daily iteration of a bullish engulfing right over here, you guys. So we definitely have the green candle engulfing the previous red candle, right? So these are daily. So this is it does carry some weight. So we do have some good indications for a continuation to the upside, even in the larger term time frames, right? Even if the indicators don't quite show it just yet, and it actually does on the daily, right? But particular to the MACD, well, yeah, we could be losing that bear pressure soon, and we're actually starting to get the DMI bulls towards the upside. Money flow index showing incoming cash too. Yeah, the signals are sort of there, but to validate even more, we actually also have bullish engulfing, right? A little silly here, candle analysis, but we have to pay attention to those nuances, right? So yeah, now let's go back to the bi-hourly time frame and see what we can do as far as our fib levels, right? So yeah, this candle here with that massive red presence, it definitely is indicative of coming back down to that area of about $8 to around 768. Let's see if we have any moving averages within that zone. Okay, so in fact, we kind of do. We have the SMA 200 located at about 757. Very likely for this 200-day simple moving average to be located right around that 768 where we're talking about by the session tomorrow, right? So that it's giving more validity to actually come into that target there. or to drop into that target, right? So let's look at the hourly time frame and see if we have anything there. No, nothing at all. The buy hourly is certainly the one where this thing is being played, right? So we can actually see the falling wedge even in this time frame as well. Very likely for us to come back into this zone, you guys, validate the newly converted resistance into a form of support before a continuation onto the upside. Let's take a Fibonacci range now. Okay, so from the current swing high to the day's swing low, let's go ahead and let's go ahead and take, no, I'm sorry, not the day. Well, yeah, I would say the previous day's range low, right? So all the way like this here. And so the upside target, the top side target of the triangle is actually taking us right to, let's see, it's actually right under the 1.272. So we can actually give that a little bit of a range now. Okay, so just like this, we'll go ahead and add our range and make sure that we can take that into account, right? So let's see. And historically speaking, I don't even think we have, or do we? No. Wow. Let me actually see the daily one more time. We're going to continue drawing our targets here, but as soon, okay, so, all right, so I see it now. Quite the distance away, geez. Okay, so we're going to just take into consideration this right over here, right? So let's draw our box just so you can see how confluent it is with the resistances. Here you go. All right, so that is very confluent with several targets that we have actually faced before, right? So particularly here, oh my goodness, yeah, lots of confluence here, you guys. So very attractive target, and it could happen, right? But we have to also keep in mind the shorter term time frame targets as well. The secondary target from the triangle is actually leading to the 1.272, and this one is leading to the 2.272, which is very curious. All right, you guys. So yeah, let's go ahead and kind of draw that in here because this could also be a range, and in this case, I would probably favor the range to be somewhere on the along the lines of maybe I would say actually I would do it to the closing of this candle here. Just about there, right? So this would be the second or the first, right? The first take profit zones, right? So or price targets, right? So let's go ahead and just see what that potential could be, right? So if we were to take a trade from the bottom side here to the lower end of this target here, that could be a 24% move, almost 25%. Right now, if you are curious about that second one, that would be about almost a 28% move to the upside. Very interesting. Okay, you guys, so now particular to the following targets, right? So let's just go ahead and kind of draw this in just like this and see what that could be, right? So we have a potential almost 46% move to the upside with a top side of about 48%. Massive upside on this, okay, you guys. So yeah, let's just go ahead and kind of take a look at this on the following day and follow up, right, you guys? But please remember, first and foremost, that I am not a financial advisor. Take whatever I do show and iterate within these videos as just a form of entertainment, as I cannot suggest for you to buy or sell any assets whatsoever, okay? I need you to do your own due diligence and everything will be cool. But with that said, you guys, I wish you well, a very good night, and I will catch you at the bell mañana. Adios.